Hey everybody, it's Dr. Calhoun here today. I kind of already recorded this, and, well, clearly you're hearing this and not that, so I guess you can imagine how that recording went. Eventually I'll learn how to do the whole video making thing properly. I understand it in theory, but, well, this whole channel is designed for me to watch myself grow, and for others to watch me do things that I've wanted to do and grow in ways that I've wanted to grow. 2021 so far has been something else. Just yesterday, we got a video from Lil Karibo. We got a new Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. And he's gonna do the next filler arc, which is great. Oh man, I am so excited for that. Let me tell you, that that alone I thought was gonna save 2021. Not only the other day, star underscore stir-2 stir twitch.tv/stir. I don't know who that is, but he uploaded a video. So, I mean, I don't think he's actually a YouTuber. I don't know if he's ever made videos before. I remember him, with this is a joke, man. I love Star. I'm sorry that joke went on too long. Anyway, I was excited because I saw those two uploads, and I thought those were probably gonna make my year, considering both of them were saying they were gonna do things this year. They were gonna get more stuff put out. So I was excited for that. That was really exciting. That's been about the good so far for this year. Just the other day, we had people storming the Capitol. Yeah, I bet that one didn't really go where you thought it was going to go, but yeah, people were storming the US Capitol the other day. That is insane, man. And the worst part is, I was watching it all happen live. On both sides, I was getting news. I was watching directly things that were happening. I can't remember what station I was watching, but I know I was flipping between a couple of them, and I know I was getting both sides of coverage. Because obviously the media will spread things to their liking. They'll twist what's happening. At least popular news media will. So that's crazy in and of itself. Donald Trump, I watched him live basically say that we're going to go march to the Capitol. He was inciting people to go to the Capitol during a time of civil unrest, at a time that people should not have been storming the Capitol, and we knew people were going to be there. We have flight records, we have hotels, we have all this stuff that point to we knew what was going to happen on that day. And Donald Trump just incited more to happen. Even if you think that he didn't necessarily say anything that could have incited that, he still needs to take responsibility. His words have weight, and he did not handle any of that right. People died. I think that that's enough of a statement. People died taking the Capitol. Which is frightening. Even if you don't think of it that way, I think that this was probably an act of terrorism. At least by the definition of inciting violence. People got hurt because of ideals. People got killed because of ideals. That's scary. It's scary to see how divided America is getting. When I was growing up, I remember I grew up in a very conservative family, and my bias was highly conservative for a long time, and just recently I've really started to analyze things for what they are after having lived in the world, after having been responsible for myself. My opinions are not so left-leaning, but not exactly centrist either. I don't know what I am. I just think that every side, is getting more and more split and is getting more and more about mere tribalism than actual ideals being shared or being contested. Which is frightening. Another frightening thing is the deplatforming of Donald Trump. Now, I don't like Donald Trump in any capacity, but I don't think he should have been banned off of Twitter. I feel that people deserve the right to be heard and deserve the right to say what they will. I know it's not all so cut and dry, but I believe the First Amendment is very powerful and deserves more respect than it receives. I also think that the Second Amendment deserves the same amount of respect. In order to say what you want, you need to be able to defend that. You need to be able to defend your own speech with violence if need be. If people are coming to limit what you can say and what you can think, you need to be able to fend them off violently. You need to be able to kill for your words. That is absolute. You need to be able to fight at the very least. John Adams had a quote that is popular being paraphrased as, "I studied military tactics and government so that my son may study science and math, so that his son may study art and philosophy and ceramics." I think that's powerful. I think that is a very important structure of how the generations should be, but that is not how they currently are. The oldest of us are very set in our ways and are refusing to listen to what the younger generations have to say. The younger generations, fueled by their own hatred for the misgivings of the world, are very violent and are very forward about their intentions to harm everybody for everybody's sake. Deplatforming, of course, is what the original topic was. And I think a good example of wrongful deplatforming is something like Leafy is Here. Now, say what you will about his content. I was watching him from the beginning, and I was there the day that I couldn't log into his page anymore. But he should not have been deplatformed off of YouTube without a warning, at least, without any kind of anything, any kind of notion that it was possible. It was just all at once and irreversible. Things like that should not be allowed to happen. I would like to say for this next part that I don't condone pedophilia in any way. I've been quoted by saying, I believe that pedophiles should be dragged outside into the park square and shot. No, I don't necessarily think that that's more of a joke. I don't necessarily think that we should be pulling people out of their homes and shooting them. But pedophilia is a very serious crime and is a very immoral action. Now, a YouTuber that I really admire posted an apology about an hour and a half ago, titled My Response. This YouTuber is CreepyProduce, and I've been watching CreepyProduce for a couple months now. As soon as I saw his first video, I don't know why I clicked on it. I've never watched Mario Kart Wii content before. I've never given a fuck about Mario Kart Wii content before. I used to play the game when I was a kid, like everybody else, but I don't know why. It was like every time I touch the color red or some shit, the video ends, and that got me. I was like, oh, I am sold on that idea entirely. I don't know if that was the exact video. It's a CreepyProduce video. They're all very similar to that. I was sold immediately. I started watching his channel, and I started really just absorbing everything that he'd done. And I kind of learned throughout watching him that he was 19. I am 20, and needless to say, I was very inspired by what he did. I would not be where I am now. I would not make content like I do if it was not for him. That much I can say with certainty. He has been a major inspiration for me, especially. Now, his apology video was because he, a 19-year-old, had gotten into a pseudo-relationship with a 15-year-old. Now, what do I mean by a pseudo-relationship? I mean, it had no physical base. They had never met. They had never exchanged pictures of a sexual nature. There was no foul play, let's say. None to be had. As far as things go, through the DMs, at least that I saw, he very clearly was against it for the most part, but as the video explained, he was in a emotional state when this girl started talking to him, and he just kind of gave in. This is essentially a case of the Discord effect. At least that's what I call it. Because I've seen a lot of people, myself included, that have gotten into these pseudo-relationships with people on Discord especially. They always end the same, but for some reason, us stupid millennials buy into it every time. Well, not every time, but we buy into it. We like hearing people say nice things about us, even if they're not true. At least even if we don't believe them to be true. Now, he mentioned at one point that there was a law in America that stated it was okay for 15-year-olds and 19-year-olds to marry, or that or not marry, but the age of consent was like 15 in some states. Now, I know what he's talking about, and that's a misrepresentation of the law. What the law claims, and this is in California, it changed a couple of months ago. I did some research on it at the time, that's why I'm quite confident in what I'm saying right now, because I was outraged. Because that's what I thought. I thought that they were lowering the age of consent to 15, and that is absolutely abysmal if that would be true, but it's not. What the law actually says is that it is up to a judge in a case to determine if a 18 to 21-year-old, I believe, and a 15 to 17-year-old, if they were to have sex, it is up to the judge to determine if the older person is put on the sex offenders registry. Now, at first, that sounds pretty bad, but you have to consider 18 to 21 is not very old. And there are a lot of instances where people are in school together and one of them graduates, another one is still in high school or something. That kind of stuff happens. It's a moral gray area. It's kind of... that certain age group in this certain case is a moral gray area, I think. I think it's not okay to have sex with somebody below 18, I think, but to necessarily be in a relationship or a pseudo-relationship like this is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, I think it's a bad thing if you continue with it, but to stop it, to end it and to say, I know that this was wrong, that is correct. That is right. It's also not right to dox somebody because of something like this. I think the fact that CreepyProduce got doxed was such an awful way to handle this situation. What is this, 2015? This fucking Leafy is here. Is he gonna show up? Kids that DDoS? Like, what the fuck, man? You don't dox people, okay? Doxing people is a complete invasion of privacy. It's unnecessary and it's unwarranted. Now, if you're gonna stop watching somebody because of something like this, I can understand that. I can understand you taking the, quote, moral, unquote, high ground in this situation. But do not go after the person because of a mistake that a kid made. Because he's only a kid, he's 19, man. The fuck? Why are you gonna act like he's like a 27-year-old man? He's a 19-year-old guy. He doesn't know better. He's still young. And I'm biased, I know. Like I said, I admire CreepyProduce a lot. He has inspired me so many times to make videos or to spitball ideas in my head for videos. He's fun to watch. It would be a shame. It would be a real shame to watch somebody lose something that they enjoy in such a way as this. For that, I hope that everybody that has watched CreepyProduce and has seen his video in this one continues to watch him or continues to support him. I firmly believe that... well, I firmly support him, I suppose I should say. And the way that he's handling the situation by just leaving YouTube for a couple months or whatever, I think that silence is probably the best option here. Just let things settle on their own. Eventually the dust will settle, and that backlog of videos that he's planning on making will most certainly come in handy at some point. who knows, something will probably happen to him in the future and he'll come back, and I hope so. I really hope that eventually I'll see him in my timeline again. Because this was not a good way to handle it. Or no, not this is a great way to handle it. And this was not a good way for the fan base, I guess, to handle it. His community is a bit too immature, I think. I always planned to join his Discord, but I guess that'll never happen, and after this, I'm kind of glad I didn't. Who knows what I would have thought before I heard his side. Who knows how people have twisted it. I think he'll come back. And CreepyProduce, if you are watching this, I wish you the best of luck, man. I hope that you continue to grow as a channel. I hope that things get better for you. I hope that all of this blows over. And that you come back refreshed and revitalized and a new person with the same love for creating videos as you have now. I hope you've learned your lesson. I think you probably have. And overall, I wish you the best of luck moving forward. And that hopefully something like this does not happen again. And I don't think it will. I think that you'll be fine, man. Keep on doing you, and everything will be okay. That's all I have to say for this video, so thank you, and peace out.